And then use your arms as a pillow. So just stack your hands. You can be lying on the forehead, the left cheek, the right cheek, whatever it is. But we're gonna start our breath here. Just feel the belly kind of pushing into the ground. And use the ground, use that pressure from the belly into the ground as kind of a guide of expansion, deflation, and just start to tune into the breath. As you inhale, feel the expansion of the ribs, the back of the body, the side body, everything expanding evenly. And just continue to breathe like this. Try not to force the breath too much, but pay attention to it. So find that balance and have that awareness that you are calming the nervous system. Just breathing in and out, natural rhythm. We have a book in the yoga world, which you might even be aware of. It's called the Bhagavad Gita. And it's basically a mythological story of the struggle of ego versus letting go, responsibility versus fear, things like that. And a quote from the Bhagavad Gita that I really love is, "The wise man lets go of all results, whether good or bad, and is focused on the action alone." So sometimes our action is, to be all in. Sometimes it's to do absolutely nothing at all. Right now, as far as your next hour on the mat, your action is to just forget that everything out there even exists. It's to focus on your self-care and your breath. We'll stay here for a few more breaths. Take one more deep, deep breath. And then as you exhale, begin to release the right arm and grab down for the right ankle. So we're just gonna start by opening the front of the body. So the right quadriceps getting long. And if you feel like you need more of a stretch here, you can press the hips into the ground. Relax the muscles in the face, relax the jaw, and just feel where you're feeling the stretch right now. We'll take one more breath here. And then exhale, release the right foot. Switch pillows, grab the left ankle with the left hand and draw that heel towards the glutes. And same thing here. You can take a couple of breaths and stretch. If you run out of stretch, press the hips into the mat. If you find your mind wandering while we're doing, because it is a slow class, it gives your brain plenty of time and opportunity to wander off the mat. Start counting the breath, go back to the breath, just pay attention to the breath. One more inhale and exhale here, and then you'll go ahead and release the foot. Bring both hands to the mat. Come to hands and knees, and bring your knees to the edges of the mat. Sit back into child's pose. Extend the arms forward. Lower the forehead to the mat. And notice as you inhale, you're expanding the back body. You're evenly inflating the areas along the spine, the lungs. You might be feeling a stretch in the hips and the ankles. Just notice all of those things. Next exhale, go ahead and lift the head, walk the hands towards the body just a little bit, and then walk the hands off to the right. Soften towards the floor. And know this, that when you're stretching the muscles and you're taking the amount of time that we do to stay in these postures, you are actually letting go of the issues in the tissues. So that stress that you might have been contracting your muscles and anger or whatever last night, you are letting that go now. You can even kind of picture it leave the body as you exhale. Inhale, lift the hands, walk the hands to the other direction. Nice and slow. You don't want to go too quickly this early in the morning as the body's waking up. Soften towards the floor. Inhale, lift, come back to center, and then come back to hands and knees. So doing the Beetalasana here, just be sure you have your foundation good. And begin with the inhale. Lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. Lead with the tailbone on the exhale, arch the back, drop the head completely. Continue, inhale, dropping. Exhale, press the pelvis towards the face, press the hands and the feet. Let's do three more rounds here. You can add your own movements. When you're finished with that last round, just go ahead and come back to a flat back so we can thread the needle here. Right hand to the center of the mat, inhale, left arm up, left arms. You only have one arm, but you have lots of fingers. Exhale, slide it under. So also here, if you're running out of stretch, you can extend the right arm, bring the bicep to ear, and just reach off the center of your mat. And also you can focus on the hips being straight. So you're stretching both shoulders and then also the hips. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And then as you exhale, come back to center for the other side. Left hand to the center of the mat. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, slide it under. Decide where you want to place the left arm, because if you're not doing this, you could be pressing into the mat and then focusing more on the twist. You can also keep the eyes closed here. Just continue to focus inward. Don't give the brain extra stimulation to filter out. Just keep the eyes closed if you'd like. You can even say to yourself, inhale, exhale, because the brain cannot think and also focus on the breath at the same time. One more. Exhale, come back to hands and knees. Take the top of the right hand and press it into the mat so the fingertips are pointing towards the body. Try to keep the right arm straight, and you should feel a stretch in the wrist and the forearm. And then go ahead and release. Do the same thing on the other side. Top of the left hand, face the fingertips towards the body, straighten the arm. And I know for my left hand, because I'm not left-handed, I need less of a stretch here. So if I shift my hips back, then I can start to feel the forearm stretching. Go ahead and come back to center. So have a seat. We're going to stack the logs. Bend your right knee so that the leg is straight in front of you. We're going to stack the left ankle on top of the right knee, and then the left knee on top of the right ankle. With your flexibility or mobility, you should be able to do this, but if it's difficult, you can always, because it's interesting, your hips can be very mobile in some areas and then super tight in others. If there's a problem, then you can always put the block in front of the knee. How is it for you?
My top knee's up in the air a little bit, but everything else is okay.
Okay, so do you have a block nearby?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and put the block in front of the right knee, and then just set the left foot on top of that block. And you should still feel the something in the left leg. We don't want the knee joint to be floating in the air, so we'll just do it this way until it can soften down. And then the arms up. Exhale, 90-degree angle. We're going to take the right elbow over the left. And then if you can, wrap the arms and press the palms, do that. With your traps, it might be a little bit tight, so you can do this. You can always hug. There's options here. If you're pressing the inner edges of the shoulder blades towards each other and the hands away from the face, you should be getting a stretch in the shoulders. I shouldn't use the word should. You might not, but if you need one, you'll feel it. We're going to inhale the arms up and back. And then exhale, come all the way down. 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Try to get a small back bend as you inhale up and back. Press the pelvis forward and the fingers back. And then as you exhale forward, round the spine. Come back to center. Release the arms. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Try it without the block first, just to see where this knee is. So bend the left leg. Try to get your right ankle on top of the knee. Right knee on top of the left ankle. If there's a little bit of space there, that's not a big deal. But if it's like way up here, then definitely use the block. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bend 90 degrees, this time left over right. Bring your awareness to between the shoulder blades to draw the inner edges towards each other. Inhale up and back. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Last time. Inhale. exhale. Come back to center. Release. You can move the block off to the side. We're going to come into a seated wide angle. So here, depending on your lower back and the compression, you can keep your hands behind you. If you're feeling a stretch here, you can stay here. Flex the feet, so be sure that the toes are pointing straight up in order to engage the quadriceps. If you're good here, you can keep the length in the spine, bring your fingertips forward. So in order for our upper body to come forward, we need to have that opposite action of pressing the legs into the ground. So keep the legs very active. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. See if you can go a little further. If not, stay where you are. If you're going down far enough to grab the outsides of the feet or grab the feet, don't grab the toes, grab the outsides of the feet. Keep the shoulders back. Neck, spine is neutral. Take one more breath here. Inhale, come all the way up. We're going to take the right leg as you exhale and bring it back. Is this okay for your knee?
Yeah.
Okay, so try to keep the knees as separate as possible. And then we're going to use our hands on either side of the left leg to kind of lift and get that thigh tucked under. So the knees pointing up, toes pointing up. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, the left arm is going to come down. If it doesn't come all the way to the ground, that's fine. See if you can just get it to the inside of the leg to rotate the shoulders open. And then your right hand can just stay behind the back, or it could come up and over. So you're in a twist, you're in a lateral stretch. Be sure the left leg is still active. Even if you can go further in this, we're just staying here for today. Take one more breath. On your next inhale, lift all the way up. Bring that right leg forward safely. And then the left leg back. Separate the knees as far apart as they can. Tuck the right thigh under. Your left sitting bone is going to be lifted. That's how it's going to be. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, bring the right forearm down to the inside of the leg. Press to open up the chest. Keep the left hand down or up and over. And then go back to the inhale and the exhale. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way up. And then bring the feet together. We're going to tip forward and come to hands and knees so we can come up into downward facing dog. So be sure your hands are forward of the shoulders. Curl the toes under, hip sockets up and back. Start to pedal the feet. You know, and this is only if you want to. You can find stillness in your down dog and you can just breathe. If you want to stretch out the back of the legs, you can. Down dog is always dynamic. It's never a static pose. Even if you are just being still and lengthening through the tailbone, you're always readjusting the pressure in your hands, allowing the heels to be heavy, being sure the arms are straight. We'll take one more breath here and then we're going to move on. Bring the right leg up. Drop the heel towards the glutes and open up, looking under the right armpit. Next exhale, bring the knee forward, come into your pigeon. And because you're familiar with how you are with this pose, I'm not going to slow you down. Just take a breath and then go right down into forearms or stacking the fists. To begin to find your pigeon, be sure that your pelvis is, be sure that your neck is just an extension of the spine. So, I mean, it's all the spine, but meaning don't let your head drop down and don't let it be looking up. Keep it neutral with the spine. Go back to the inhale, exhale. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. And on your last exhale, curl the back toes under. Start to lift the back knee. And then press yourself slowly back to a downward facing dog. If you have your knees first, that's fine. Take any movement you need in the legs here. Lengthen through the tailbone. And then bring the left leg up. Drop the heel towards the glutes. Open up to the left side of the mat. Look under the left armpit. I should say underarm. It's such a nicer word, but whatever. I said armpit. Next, exhale, bring the knee forward. Pigeon on the other side. And if you begin to run out of stretch on your pigeon, know that the next step is to just start to 90-degree angle that leg. Just inch it, start inching it forward. Find your pigeon on the side. Forearms, stacking fists, wherever you are. You can roll out that left thigh to get a little deeper. Three more deep breaths here. And then on that last exhale, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, slowly move into downward facing dog. And then we're gonna do one more thing on the floor, and then we're gonna come up to standing posture. So come down to your knees, drop your left hip to the mat, come down to your left forearm. We're gonna do a modified side plank here. just to add some strength to what we just stretched. Left knee is going to stay bent, and the knee is pointing straight down the center of the mat. So the knee is lined up with the hip is lined up with the elbow. Take the right leg over the left so that the foot is flat on the ground. And then the hand can just stay on the right thigh. Focus point on the ground, or you can watch me lift first. We're just going to lift the hips. Take 3 breaths. Engage the lower belly. And then exhale, bring it down. Remove the leg, do a little bit of your yoga break dancing, come to the other side. And the right knee, forearm, left foot is off the mat. Next exhale, go ahead and lift. Don't lift too high and don't drop too low. Really engage. 3 breaths. Exhale, lower. Come back to hands and knees, downward facing dog. And now we're going to separate the feet and walk the hands towards the feet. So moving in opposite of what we normally do. Grab opposite elbows, drop the torso and the head. Knees can stay bent as generously as you need them to be. The goal is to try to get the thigh on top, or the stomach on top, not the stomach, the abdominal area on top of the thighs. The stomach is an organ. I don't know where yours is close to your thighs. Sway a little bit back and forth. And be sure you're pressing all 4 corners of the feet. Support yourself. Bring the fingertips to the mat. Take your 2 first fingers, your peace fingers, lock them around your big toes. We're going to inhale and lengthen through the crown of the head. And then exhale, fold in half, theoretically, and the elbows will go left and right. Drop the head. So you're pulling on the toes. Toes are pressing on the fingers. You're pressing the shoulders back. Exhale, release the fingers, bring your hands to your shins, shoulders back. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Nice flat back here. Lift the sitting bones. Hands to the thighs. And then keep the back flat as you press the feet. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, we're going to walk to the front of the mat into Tadasana. I'm going to come on this side. So inner edges of the feet are parallel. We're going to go through 2 sun salutations, nice and slow. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back. Come to your knees for chaturanga, or do the full chaturanga, up to you. Elbows kissing the sides of the body. Press the hands, inhale, cobra. Tops of the feet are pressing into the ground, the glutes are strong. Curl the toes under, exhale. 5 breaths in downward facing dog or child's pose, you choose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look up, get to the front of your mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. I just heard your doggy shake. So cute. Back to Tadasana. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Get a nice slight back bend here. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back, chaturanga. Come to your knees if you need to. Inhale, just a cobra here. Curl the toes under, exhale. Child's pose or down dog, 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look up, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Okay, grab your strap. I'm pretty sure you have a strap. If you don't, we'll still make it work. We're gonna take the strap in the right hand. Be sure that you're in Tadasana like, so toes are always pointing forward or always having that awareness of working on keeping the knees over the second and third toes, engaging the quadriceps, even for an arm stretch. So right arm is straight up, bicep to ear, bend at the elbow only. Left thumb down, reach behind you, grab for that strap and pull. If you can interlock the fingers, go ahead and do that. Lift the chest, chin is parallel to the ground. And so here, in order for me to lift my chest, sometimes I push the whole body forward. We don't want to do that either. Keep the hip sockets back. One more breath. And release the left hand, right arm up, switch. Bend at the elbow, right thumb down for that internal rotation. Either grab the fingertips or the strap. Even pressure in the feet, hip sockets back, chest is lifted. One more breath. And go ahead and release the right hand. Move the strap off to the side. Come back to the front of your mat in Tadasana. Bring your right leg back. We're gonna come into Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. So, be sure that you're pressing the back foot and the leg is straight. Drop the tailbone, engage the lower belly, get tall on the spine. Keep everything in the torso and the back leg, and then just bend into the knee. Hips stay forward. We could go further, but that's gonna open up our hips to the side. Stop when your hips start to open. And then inhale, bring the arms up, pinkies together, thumbs together. So we're taking this lotus flower mudra. And this is where we fill our buckets. Okay, if we don't get it filled by people around us, maybe we do, but just kind of imagine that energy flowing in. One more breath here. Bring the hands down to the heart. Keep your lotus mudra and then start to shift forward. We're gonna either come onto the toes for Warrior 3 or lift the back leg. Now, if you have a wall or something nearby, feel free to use it. Let the ankle do its job. It's gonna wobble. Or just keep your toes on the ground and work on those muscles. Shoulders away from the ears. Take one more breath. Bend the standing knee, bring both feet together. Come back to Tadasana. We'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna move over here. Left leg back. Drop the tailbone, engage the lower belly, lengthen. Bend the front knee. Keep this left hip forward. Pinky, thumb, Lotus Mudra. Next exhale, bring it in front of the heart. Begin to tip forward. Come into your warrior three. Bend the standing knee, and when you're ready, bring them back together. Back to Tadasana. All right. Grab your block. We're gonna put it in the center of the mat and then take a wide stance. Actually, grab your strap too. We're gonna go down twice. So with the wide stance, be sure that you're, if I were to draw a line behind your heels, that they're standing and even up to that line. Toes are pointing forward. You're gonna see the knees cave in a little bit, especially if your knees are like mine, like I think you said. Engage the quadriceps. So you're not locking out the knees, you're lifting the knees. Bring your hands on your waist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, send the hip sockets back and tip forward. Bring your hands to the block. So first, have it on the tallest setting. Lift the sitting bones. Lengthen through the crown of the head again, shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, see if you have a little bit more room to tip forward. You can go down to the medium setting, drop the head. And we're just gonna stay here today, 5 breaths. Keep lifting the sitting bones, melting the heart towards the floor, lifting the knees, and releasing the head. Inhale to look up. You can bend your knees if you need to protect the lower back, but as you exhale, bring your hands to the waist. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, keep the legs wide. Grab your strap. We're gonna take the strap, both hands behind the back. So the way that we hold this strap, the knuckles will be pointing away from us, palms facing forward. You might need to adjust depending on your shoulders. I think your shoulders are probably pretty tight. So just start here, about here. Inhale, lengthen. Re-engage the legs. Send the hip sockets back as you exhale. Bring the arms overhead. So we want the arms to be able to hang forward until you feel a stretch in the shoulders. Don't go too far. And, give yourself credit. If you need to separate the hands a little bit more, do that. Or even if you need to bring them closer together, do that. Drop the head completely. Keep the lower belly engaged here. Lift the sitting bones. We're gonna bring the arms down. So just back down behind the back. Drop the strap off to the side. Bring your hands to the waist. Inhale, look up. Come all the way up. Exhale, inhale, whatever. Bring the feet back together. Come back to Tadasana. Back to the front of your mat. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back, come to your knees, cross the ankles, and have a seat. We're just gonna do one or two more things sitting, and then we'll lie down. So get the skin and muscles away from the sitting bones, bring the feet together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. If you wanna use your strap here, you can. You can put it around the bottoms, the balls of the feet. And lead with the heart. Take one more breath here. Inhale, come all the way up. Bend the right knee. And see if the right knee is pointing forward, straight forward this time. See if you can get the left foot to the other side of the knee. Just do the best that you can. Left fingertips will go behind you. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, rotate to the left and try to get that elbow to the outside of the knee. If that's not working, just grab the knee. Look over the left shoulder. We're just gonna keep twisting and wringing out any negativity. That is your action for the class. Wring it out. Take one more breath here. Exhale, come back to center. Unravel the legs. Bring the left leg down, knee is bent, facing forward. Right foot over the left knee. Your right sitting bone is gonna left. Don't try to press it into the ground or anything like that. We need to keep the SI joints happy, so we're not gonna force anything. This is my injured leg, so I can't, I'm gonna try, but I might end up grabbing the knee instead. Lengthen, twist, find your breath. Keeping the chest lifted is far more important than getting into it. Release the tongue. Exhale, come back to center. All right, keep your strap nearby. We're gonna lie down on our backs. Just take a breath or two here just to kind of neutralize the spine before we move on. We are gonna do one more back bend. We're gonna do bridge. Okay, so preparing for bridge, in your mind's eye, try to keep the toes pointing forward. The heels can be close to the sitting bones. Shoulder blades are flat on the mat. So you're already feeling like this little bit of an arch in your back, or you should be, at least in the lower back. If not, tilt the pelvis forward, press forward. On our next exhale, we're gonna lift the pelvis, press the feet. If you want to interlace the fingers under your back, you can, and start to walk the shoulders closer together. See if you can lift a little higher if you want. Keep pressing the heels and the inner edges of the feet. 2 more breaths here. And then exhale, lower the pelvis. Unwind the spine. Don't hug the knees right away. Take a breath first. And then one at a time, lift the knees towards the chest and rock left to right. Now you can flatten the whole spine. Lower back, flatten it. In fact, really bring your awareness to softening the muscles in the lower back. And then Come to stillness, bring your feet back down. We're gonna grab the strap, straighten the left leg, and put the strap around the right foot. Extend it. So we're doing this as if we were standing up. So the left foot, toe should be pointing up, foot is flexed. Grab the straps in your right hand, left hand will be on top of the thigh. We're just gonna breathe here. Right foot is active also. Next exhale, bring it out to the side. Press that left hip down. Use the inner thigh muscles to bring the leg back to center. Switch hands. Right arm goes out to the side now. And keep the right hip pressing into the mat and then cross over the center line. The leg should not move more than just a few inches. I mean, depending on your flexibility, you might go further, but the left toes are still pointing up. Exhale back to center. We are going to do one little strengthening lift here. So grab a strap in each hand. Inhale. And then as you exhale, lift the shoulders, the head, and chin goes in the direction of the shin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Float the leg down. Bend the left knee. Get the strap around the left foot. Grab the straps with the left hand. Right hand stays on the thigh. Both feet are active. Breathe. Exhale out to the left. Keep the right hip socket pressing. And then inhale, use the inner thigh muscles, the abductors to come back to center. So we are using the strap for help to make our arms longer, but we don't want to rely on it as a crutch muscularly. Okay, so don't be white knuckling your hand on the strap. Switch hands. Left arm extends. Left hip to the ground, cross over the center line. Come back to center, grab a strap in each hand. Take a big inhale. Exhale, lift the head, shoulders, chest, chin to shin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Float the leg down. We're going to bend the knees. Take one more rock here, or you can do happy baby. You decide. Happy baby, you're grabbing the insides of the legs and pressing the knees down towards the floor and rocking left to right that way. If you can reach the feet, you're pressing the feet. Slow down your rocking. Bring the knees together, drop the feet, extend the legs, extend the arms overhead and stretch. Do whatever movement you want in the wrists and the ankles and the feet, the hands. And then we'll get ready for Shavasana from here. So if you have something to cover your eyes to keep any light out, even if it's just a shirt or a sweater, something like that. You lie flat on your back, arms down, palms facing up. Really take this opportunity to let go of anything that, you're willing to let go of at this time. So physically, separate the ankles as much as you want. Just take a big, star even if you like. And as you exhale, imagine any stress or tension in the body leaving the body. Whether it's through the softening of the muscles and releasing that way, or through the breath. And energetically speaking, whether this is along the lines of you could take it or leave it, or just, the mind is very powerful and visualization is very powerful. So any negativity that you are leaving or letting kind of leak out through the body, just imagine that being swept away as well. You don't want to leave that on your mat. You don't want to leave that in your house. Just let it turn to dust and blow away. And any thoughts that come to mind while you're resting here and observing the body, you're going to let those thoughts kind of float away like a leaf floating on a river. Just let it leave. And your only action right now is to breathe.